Today I wanted to talk about the Samsung A32 5G. This is a phone that a lot of you guys are going to see in Metro PCS, basically prepaid carriers, Boost Mobile, Walmart, stuff like that. So this phone is there. Now we did the 4G version, which I really like that it had the Super AMOLED display. This one does not, and it does have the TFT display, which is the only thing that I was kind of like about. And it does have a different processor, but we'll get into all of that. But I do want to talk about the price. Right now, you can pick it up unlocked for around $239. I'll put that link down below. And then also they have like a ton of deals and stuff that you can get on Metro and Boost Mobile. So do check that out. And I just wanted to go over this device for you guys. So it is a full plastic design, and it's actually a bit of a heavy phone. Not super heavy, but it actually has a nice weight to it. It doesn't feel like a plastic toy. As far as the design, it looks great. I do wish I got it in a different color. I think I got the most boring color. They do have like a violent purple, and then they have like this really cool blue color. So they do have really good color options for this. We do have our fingerprint scanner right here, volume rockers, and then we also have down below, we have our headphone jack, USB Type-C, and a single firing speaker on this guy as well. As I do want to talk about the display on here, it is a TFT display, which I 100% prefer the Super AMOLED display on the 4G version. A 6.5 inch 720p plus display, 270 for the PPI, and it is a 90 hertz panel. We do have a wide drop notch, a little bit of bezel right here. I have this thing cranked up to full brightness, and that was my issue with this phone, is that outdoors it is kind of like a little bit hard to see in the sunlight. So that was one of the problems I have with these TFT displays that Samsung makes. So they're just not super bright. Indoors, they're fine if you're looking at them head on. And also one thing I noticed is that the viewing angles aren't really that great on this display at all. It's okay, but it's not like it's not like a high quality IPS panel that you would see. Also, just to show you that 90 hertz, the 90 hertz does make this phone feel extremely smooth. On here, it's an adaptive 90 hertz, which means that it'll slow itself when you're not scrolling, stuff like that. When you're scrolling, it kicks in. When you're just sort of sitting there, then it'll drop. So that is one thing that I really like on this phone. Just super smooth, just bouncing in and out of applications and stuff like that. I think this phone does a really good job with that. So this phone is running the latest version of Android 11, as of right now, with the One UI 3.1 on here, and it's very smooth. You have a lot of your, features on here, your Samsung, double application thingamajiggy on here. I can't remember what they call this thing, but a lot of your stuff is on here. Google Now isn't on here. It's Samsung's like their thing that I don't like. But as far as the software experience, it is fine on here. So you do have on here dark mode, and you also have on here screen recording. Samsung Kids is on here. NFC is on board, and secure folders and Dolby Atmos is on board with this phone. So you do have a lot of the features. Really the only thing you're missing is the Samsung desktop support, which we know is really for the premium devices, but still, you're getting a lot of the Samsung features on here, which I really like. So I do want to talk about the overall gaming experience on this phone. And the gaming experience is okay. You can definitely get a better, gaming phone for $239. I have a ton of videos on that. But basically the specs on this guy, it is the MediaTek 725G chip with the Mali G57 GPU on here. You also have micro SD support, 64 gigs and 4 gigs of RAM, or that could be 128 gigs, depending on which model you get. But as far as gaming, you can see like on Call of Duty here, you can see pretty much not impressive graphics here, low, that's pretty much your graphics on here. So nothing impressive. This is really meant for like casual gaming, pretty much this chipset on here. But yes, you can play games like PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile on here, but it's not going to be you're not going to be playing at the best settings here. But as far as just gaming on here, it's not lagging. It doesn't get hot. It plays fine. Also, for those who are curious, I do want to show you guys the Geekbench scores. As you can see here, these are the scores that you will be getting here. You can see how they compare to, you know, other devices. Alright, so you do have a single firing speaker. Let's crank it up and see what it sounds like. So on here, I can only turn Dolby Atmos on with Bluetooth headphones. I can't turn it on through the speakers. And again, you know, not the loudest speaker. It's a single firing speaker. You guys know I always like to see stereo speaker setups. But the speaker on here is fine. It's nothing special. It's not super loud, but it's not a terrible speaker at all. It's just kind of on the decent side. Alright guys, you do have on here a physical fingerprint scanner in the power button, which I think is just one of the best ways to get into your device here, and it works extremely fast. You also have the option to do face unlock on here as well, so that is really nice. And also, like I said, you do have NFC on here. Your headphone jack is on here as well. I think the only thing it's missing is any type of splash resistant or, you know, water resistant rating, but you don't really find those on a lot of budget phones anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Alright, let's go ahead and discuss the cameras on here. So I was actually really happy with the cameras on here. So it looks like Samsung did not really do a shortcut with the cameras on this model. It does have a 48 megapixel standard, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. It shoots in 4K 30 FPS, and then you have a 13 megapixel selfie that shoots in 1080p. I was actually pretty happy with image quality on here. For the 239 bucks, I thought it took some pretty well, you know, detailed shots on here. You know, obviously, you know, it's a budget phone, so it's not going to do, you know, crazy photos. But honestly, I was really happy. I think any casual, you know, person that takes photos, you know, just a point and click person that is, you know, just trying to get a good photo, you're in daylight. This is going to take some very well detailed shots. Pretty good color accuracy on here as well. The ultra wide does a pretty good job, and also the macro is fun to play with as well. So overall, I was really happy. Video is decent on here, but overall, just for stills, color accuracy, dynamic range, all that stuff did really good. So I was really happy with the image processing on here. Lastly, I want to go ahead and discuss battery life. So one of the best things about this phone is battery life. So it has a massive 5,000 milliamp battery with 15 watt charging, and honestly, this phone does not really die. It's definitely a 2-day phone for any light user. Yeah, you can't kill the battery on this thing, especially now. Again, this is for someone who is just never been on 5G. Where I live at, I just don't have access to it. But you know, if you're on just standard 4G, this thing really does go. Now, if you're on 5G, will you see, you know, that battery decrease? You know, maybe. I haven't seen, you know, I can't tell you guys, but on 4G, this phone is a beast. With a 720p screen on here, since it's so low res, it's not powering anything, you know, too crazy, and it just does a great job with battery life. So overall, I was really happy with that. So overall, I think the A32 5G is a decent phone. If you see it in Metro and you're curious about it, I think it does a decent job. Great battery performer, very good cameras. The display is kind of, you know, it's kind of okay. It's a 90 hertz, but as you can see, like the viewing angles, it just doesn't get as bright as I would like it to. As far as the GPU performance, CPU performance, it's okay. You can casually play games with no problem, but it's not going to be the best for this price point. So it's just, you know, it's an okay, you know, decent 5G budget phone. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.